Good morning. My name is Bolin. I am taking uh, calculus AB this year, and I'm also taking transition into college mathematics. So first things first, I want to talk about the transition to college mathematics class. This class is a new class that is being designed to help support your child in their pre-calculus class, as well as support their ACT scores, especially in math. Throughout the course of the year, we are going to be doing learning goals. We are going to take a goal that we set for the year, and from there, we're breaking it into what we're going to work on for the month, and then from there, we're going to work on that goal for each week. In addition to this, each child will be given time to work on homework and receive one-on-one support for pre-calculus. And then also every day, we are going to go over key skills to be able to be more successful on the ECT test. Some of these skills will include refreshing memory on older material that your child may have seen in middle school or early high school math, as well as testing strategies, calculator strategies as well. So for this class, every student's going to need a binder that has two dividers, one for ACT and one for notes and practice. Your child will also need to have paper, pencils, and highlighters. No pens in this class. It's really important to learn homework nicely. And in addition to that, I recommend your child having the TI series that is required in the calculus class. Your child will have access to graphing calculators in the class, which they will be able to use on March 18th. So what we're going to learn is we are going to cover basic algebra, middle school algebra, all the way up into algebra 1 for the fall semester. And then in the spring semester, we're going to review geometry skills. Now, this is not a class where we go back and reteach everything. This is a class where we lightly review these topics and then we jump into ACT style questions. The ACT is very, the problems are not difficult. The problem with it is how they're asked, what they're being asked to find. So we spend a lot of time deciphering the questions in class. So in addition to that, students will also be keeping up with an online journal that will be dealing with math topics. So one day they may get asked how to explain solving an equation to a friend in this class. Journaling, I have found, has helped students connect what they've learned to concepts that they actually apply. So overall, that's the overview of the ACT class. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to jump in and talk about the calculus class. And then after that, I'm going to talk about legwork and then other classroom policies I have. So in the calculus classes, we will be using Google Classroom as well as my AT Classroom. For the main part of this, we will be studying the FRQs, which is pre-response questions. We will also be working on higher level thinking and rigorous problems throughout the course. So we have 7 units to cover before the AP exam that is in the spring, scheduled in May. For the fall, we're going to talk about limits and continuity, and then we're going into derivatives. We are going to try and finish derivatives before Christmas. We may have to finish half a chapter after Christmas. In the spring, we're going to talk about integration and application. So integration, and then we're going to have about 2 to 4 weeks of review before we go into the AP test. At the beginning of every month, your child will receive a calendar of homework assignments, due dates, quiz dates, test dates, anything that's applicable to this class, they will receive that. One thing that I've stressed to each student is that whatever the calendar says, that's what we're going to cover. Unfortunately, with the AP class, there's no time for us to slow down. So because of that, we do have 8th hour, as you know, where your child will have access to come to me for tutoring. If for some reason we don't get everything done for 8th hour that they need to get caught up, they can always come back before after school, but I ask that they make arrangements beforehand to make sure that I will be available to help them. So materials for this class, I recommend having a 1.5-inch binder if it's just for calculus. Our notes are pretty thick for this entire school year. If they want to use my binder or the calculus binder for another class, they need a 3-inch binder. In addition, they are going to need a composition notebook. We do journal in this calculus class as well. And then they're also going to need paper, pencils, and highlighters. One thing I highly recommend your child getting is a TI 84 Plus. I do recommend the color edition. They usually run $100 to $120 at like Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, Target. This calculator is what they're going to use in college as well if they're going into a math or science field. So if you can, I do highly recommend getting your calculator. Your child will have access to a calculator here on the school campus, but we don't have enough to send home. If they're not able to get a calculator, we can put an app on their phone, but they will not be able to use their phone on their AP test. But they will have access to a graphic calculator for their AP test in the spring. All right, so also we'll talk about the testing for calculus. So any test or quiz, those will be given in a time format. And then the tests that are given in class, those will be given themselves. And that means that there will be a calculator and a non-calculator section. And there will also be 2 free response questions. Now, as you may have been aware, to receive a 3 or higher on the AP exam screen, most of the time the kid needs to score at least like a 37 to 40% cut. So because of that, they are going to be required to at least score that on the my unit test. But we're not going to put those grades in the gradebook like that. They will be converted into a 100-point grading scale. And the students on their first test, they will be given a rubric that converts the scores from the AP style into there. So basically, we call it the AP curve. Your child will have an AP curve and it will be graded accordingly. Homework is due at every Friday. So whatever is assigned throughout the week, they do not have to turn it in the next day. They have to turn it in on Google Classroom by Friday by 2:15. And then let's talk about late work. So the student's absent is their responsibility to make sure that they catch up. Every class will be recorded and class recordings will be posted on Google Classroom. In addition to that, if a student does not turn in an assignment on time, the first day that is late is 25% off. And then the second day that is late is 50% off. And from there, they have 1 week to turn it in. After 1 week, the homework will no longer be worth credit. So a couple recommendations. If your child falls behind, it's important that they reach out to me immediately. Don't wait till the night before a test. Don't wait till the morning of a test. They need to reach out, schedule time for tutoring, come to 8-hour tutoring to get caught up. In addition, your child may get discouraged throughout the school year, and I will be there to help support them, of course. But if they do get discouraged, it's probably because it's frustrating material. The material in calculus is not hard. What makes it hard is the way the AP exam either asks the questions or the wording we have to do for the free response questions. So with that being said, we do spend a lot of time throughout the school year practicing those questions, making sure we get the formatting down, making sure we get the correct wording down to ensure that they are successful in the free. So that pretty much sums up both of my classes. If you ever have any questions, feel free to email me. My name is Autumn Bolin. You can reach me at autumnbolin.lps